Hi everyone. Well, we're back again. I hope you all had a nice weekend and a nice Mother's Day, all the mothers and grandmothers. Of course, it was quiet, I'm sure, because you couldn't really go anywhere. Um, my grandson bought me a roasting pan that I really wanted. I did ask for that because I threw my old one away. And my son John and Tracy and Devin brought me a nice plant. We talked through the glass door, waved at each other. And I know my daughter Carol is going to probably take me out to dinner somewhere when the time comes. And I'll enjoy that because actually I'm kind of tired of cooking. I have to tell you that I learned something last week that just really blew my mind. I knew my daughter could not boil an egg, but I also found out that our friend Tracy could not boil an egg. This is one of Carol's friends she went to school with, and she can't boil an egg either. What is with you people? So I'm so glad she's married to Mitch, because Mitch is a good cook. Today I'm going to make chicken divan. It's a chicken and broccoli casserole. I know a lot of children and even some adults don't like broccoli, but this kind of camouflages the broccoli a little bit, and it is a good casserole. So the first thing I'm going to do, I forgot last week, did it beforehand, I'm washing my hands. I already washed the chicken. I'm going to rinse it again, and I'm cooking it in an Instapot. I know most people today have an Instapot. They don't use pressure cookers anymore. You have to be real careful with chicken. When you use it, you want to wash your hands because chicken will contaminate things. If you get it on your cabinet and all, you need to really wipe it down. So I'm going to put some water in here and cover the chicken. I'll be honest with you, I'm still sort of learning to use the Instapot. I'm going to cook this for 15 minutes. Okay. So it will cook for 15 minutes and then we'll take it off and then we can proceed with the chicken divan. Okay, the chicken is ready. The only thing now is we have to let steam out sort of slowly. So I don't want to blow up in here. Okay, the chicken is ready. What I normally do, is it on? What I normally do is I cook my broccoli in the chicken broth. I think it gives it a little more flavor. This is frozen, it has been. I'm going to steam this for about 8 minutes. Now I turn it on again.
Yeah.
Okay, now this chicken is hot. Whoa, I gotta get a fork. You should actually let this set a while and cool, because we're gonna throw all that away. Take the bone out. Okay, I like my chicken cooked a little longer because I like it to fall apart, and it's much easier to sort of like shred, and I don't like it this tight, but if you like it, I mean the chicken is done, you can cook it as long as you want, but I don't like to have to cut it up. I like shredding it. And I'll tell you a little something about this recipe, but before I do, I have to correct one thing. My daughter Carol did buy me plants for the yard for my pots. She bought petunias and snapdragons, which I love. So she is going to take me out for dinner too, but wanted to throw that in. I don't want her to feel slighted in any way. Also, I'd like to tell you a little story about this recipe. As most of you, well, all of you who know my family, know that my husband Jim was in the Navy for 22 years. The last few years that he served before he retired, he was on a ship called the USS Pawcatuck. We have so many good friends from that time. Makes me cry. And this recipe was given to me by a lady whose husband was on the ship. She had a luncheon one day and we all went, wives, and she served us chicken divan. We all loved it, so she gave us all the recipe. So I have had this recipe. We have lived here 42 years, so 45 years I've had this recipe, and it never gets old. So this lady's name was Judy, so thank you, Judy. Sorry about that, and I stopped crying and composed myself. I will tell you that. Normally I'll use chicken breast, boneless and skinless, because it's much easier to work with. This time I use chicken breast and thighs because I had them in the freezer. Now when the broccoli gets cooked, we'll put it in this bowl, this dish first. I always spray it with Pam because it kind of sticks a little bit and it's easier to clean the dish. So while the broccoli finishes cooking, I'm going to go ahead and brown the breadcrumbs. You need 2 tablespoons of butter and 3/4 cups of breadcrumbs. You don't want them really, really brown. You just want to kind of saute them in the butter a little bit and make them a little crunchy. I have, the recipe calls for a cup of cheese. I usually use a little more than that, maybe a cup and a half, cup and 3/4. So I have the cheese ready. I have 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. Do not dilute this soup. You want a creamy sauce. To the 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, we're going to put 3/4 cup of mayonnaise and tablespoon of lemon juice. And we'll mix this up. You want to incorporate this mayonnaise with that chicken soup. So let's do this. The hardest part about this recipe is cooking the chicken. And that's not hard, it just takes longer. I think once you make it one time, if you do, you might like it. It's a good casserole if you need to go to a cookout, or your neighbor was sick and you want to do something nice and take dinner one night. You could make this and a nice salad, and I think they would appreciate it. My neighbor next door is going to have a baby in August, and I'll take this over for them one night. Now this is all you have to do with this. Doesn't have to be really brown or anything. That's it. So we'll put that here. Finish mixing our sauce. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. So by the time we get this all mixed together, the oven should be ready. So I'm still waiting for the broccoli. So that should have about, I don't know, a couple more minutes. Okay, the broccoli is ready. I'm going to drain it. Ouch, hot. I have a colander in the sink. I'm going to drain that really well. What I like to do is just kind of cut this up a little bit so when you're serving it, you don't get big chunks of broccoli. I think that's much better. I want to cover the bottom of the dish. Okay. Put the chicken. I didn't think I would have enough chicken, but I do. Have plenty of chicken. I know everybody gets tired of cooking full meals where you have meat, salad, starch, vegetable. This is good because one dish and you're done. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to spread the soup and the mayonnaise and the lemon juice. You can see how incorporated that is. This is what we're doing. Please, if you make this, do not use the directions on the soup can and add the water or the milk, because then you will have soup chicken and broccoli. You don't want that. I think that'd be kind of yucky. Okay. Want to cover this. You can use, if you don't have 2 cans of cream of chicken soup and you have mushroom or cream of celery, you can use that. Mix it. I have done that a time or two. And they'll say, what did you do to the chicken divan this time? Well, nothing. Oh yeah, you changed it somehow. But it's still good. Sometimes if they complain about it, I just tell them, well, you cooked the dinner. We'll see how that works. Okay, now we're going to put the cheese. Now, here's the big secret. I don't eat cheese. So what I do is I leave one end with no cheese for me. This is cheddar cheese, and I'm not going to tell you which cheese is better because I don't really know. The recipe calls for cheddar cheese, and that's what I used. You can also freeze this. What normally happens when Carol's going to school, what's left she'll make a little dish and stick it in the freezer, and one day she doesn't want to make lunch. She just looks in the freezer and takes one of these. There you go. Okay. Now we'll do the breadcrumbs. I hope they're cool enough. They are. Just sprinkle this till you cover everything. I hope Carol's watching this because she can make it the next time. You think? Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil, and we'll cook it as soon as the oven is ready for 30 minutes, 35 minutes. like to use the non-stick because sometimes, well, let's see, maybe I won't use non-stick today. Whoa, look at that. Just enough. Beautiful. If you don't have non-stick, you could actually spray your foil a little bit with Pam. And that's ready to go in the oven. And I'll see you in 35 minutes. Okay, the casserole is ready. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, here we go. There's dinner. I think I'll make some cornbread. And we'll have cornbread and chicken divan and salad. And I hope you make it, and I hope you enjoy it. And this has been fun. And I forgot to mention before we signed out when I put it in the oven. Cook, you clean. Gotta clean up this kitchen now. So I will talk to you all later and have a good week. Bye.